The real reason that your business hasn't matched your dreams is because you haven't grown. What does that mean? Your business is a direct reflection of how you are programmed. It's down to your awareness, how aware you are. Now, I want you to think about someone who's in your industry right now, whose business is maybe 10, 20 times bigger than yours, maybe the leader in the industry. I want you to really take a look at their mindset. Look at how they go about their business, how much more action they take, how much more they invest in themselves. Now, you might say, well, Mindy, I don't really have the money to invest in my business right now to really grow it. But here's the thing. A lot of these startups started with zero capital. There's been entrepreneurs that built multi-million-dollar organizations, even billionaires, that are in debt, that lost everything and started again. We've got to have a growth mindset. A lot of the time, we talk ourselves out of doing the things that we know we should be doing. Because why? Because it feels uncomfortable. Now, success is outside the comfort zone. We hear this time and time again. But what these motivational quotes on Instagram and all that kind of stuff don't tell you, success is outside your comfort zone. Okay, well, what does that mean to me? How does that apply to me? How comfortable are you with the kind of decisions that you're making? How comfortable are you in how you present yourself, your offer, your business, how you position yourself? If someone was to come into your business, right? Someone like you admire that's in your industry, that's one of the top leaders. If they looked inside your business, came inside your business and looked at the way you run your business, firstly, they look at you, what your mindset's like, look at what you're complaining about. Then look at how you're actually the infrastructure of your business, looking at your offer, looking at your pricing, looking at your sales process, your marketing process, your everyday activities in terms of business. Would they consider you to be someone who's successful? Or would they come and have a checklist and say, moaning, complaining, procrastinating, not taking any action, blaming everything else on the outside, disorganized, lack of focus? Would they label you as those things? Think about it. A lot of people get motivated, get pumped up. You know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to really grow my business this year. I'm going to really take over. I want to be the number one person in my industry. I want to have global dominance. Hear all this talk. But when you go back to the core, their actions, their beliefs, their thought process, their work ethic, the way they conduct themselves, the way they put themselves out there doesn't match the goal. Where is the difference between that big dream that you set when you first started out your business to versus how you're operating? Are you where you want to be, or is there a big, massive gap? Chances are there's probably a gap, because that's why you're on a podcast like this. You don't come here to just pass your time. You come in here because there is something that you want, something bigger than you. And the goal is supposed to scare you. You're not supposed to know how you're going to get there. It doesn't matter how you're going to get there, but you've got to take uncomfortable steps. You want to earn $1 million a year. Take a look at, are you embodying that person that earns $1 million a year? Are you out there trying to build business? Are you having conversations with people? Are you setting up meetings, consultations? However your business grows. There's different ways of doing business, right? Go back to old school methods. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. If you look back 20, 25 years ago, there was no internet. The only means of communication was either email or face-to-face, maybe letter. I grew up in the era without the internet. Now, we didn't have that luxury of pushing a couple of buttons and being connected to somebody that you don't know, someone who could view what you do. There was none of that. There was websites. Websites were really expensive. People are doing SEO and all that kind of stuff. But even before the internet came, there was groundwork done. I remember when I first built up my cleaning company at the age of 19. I was out there, right, in the rain, in the wind, no matter what the weather, going knocking on restaurant doors, pub doors, clubs, bars, restaurants, you name it. I went out door knocking. I'd have to park my car like 2 miles up because there was no parking space. Nowadays, people are so caught up with online traffic. Oh, it's so hard to do X, Y, and Z. But it's not. Nothing's really hard. You have an unfair advantage versus those millionaires that were made in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s. You have an unfair advantage. What does that mean, unfair advantage? Listen, you've got access to the internet. A lot of the internet's free. You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't have enough money to market. Listen, Facebook is free, right? Unless you get into paid ads. But there are strategies that you can use around organic traffic, driving traffic, building relationships, networking, connecting with people, sending emails, going onto LinkedIn. But a lot of people are filled up with excuses. We did a live interview with one of my clients, right? Dr. Anna, she's absolutely smashed it. Now, she had to change herself before her business grew, before the finances grew. She had to get uncomfortable. She had to. Think about it. If the internet was taken away from you today, right? Imagine overnight the internet was shut down. What would happen? What would happen to your business? Well, the internet won't get shut down. People didn't think COVID was going to happen, right? Who would ever thought that COVID would happen and that not just one town would be shut down, one country, one city. The entire world got shut down, right? And the biggest problem that people had was getting toilet paper. That was the biggest problem. Obviously, there was obviously the health issues, but most people are concerned about, oh no, we better get down to the supermarket, stock up on some toilet tissue. That was a headline story, right? Forget about how many people are dying. The second most biggest headline story is probably about that. Now, if that happened now, what would you do? I want you to think about it. Well, if you don't use it, you lose it. You ever had that one before? You have such a powerful mind. You have dreams, big goals, big income visions that you have for yourself, for your family, your organization. Now, you've got to match that dream. You've got to match that with an intense burning desire. You've got to look at overcoming fear, overcoming failure. You've got to really embody that person. I want you to evaluate yourself over the last 12 months, the last 24 months. How have you been conducting yourself? Have your actions kind of really been big actions, or have they been kind of small actions? I speak about this a lot because a lot of people get caught up with that. You can just be positive. You can just manifest by visualizing, closing your eyes, reading books, repeating countless affirmations and doing all the energy work. But what a lot of people fail to do, they miss out, is really taking action that really matches that big dream. I'm looking at myself. Last week I was out and I was reevaluating myself. I'm looking at myself, right, business is going great, earning millions, but what is this all I can do? And I got disgusted at myself. I got pissed off at myself. I'm like, I can do so much more. Because one thing that can happen is when you get to a certain level, there can be a certain level of complacency. Although life is going great, your bills are paid, you got a nice car or two, you go on nice holidays, plenty of spending money, you're not wanting for anything. But that's where the danger zone happens, when you get comfortable, right? When we talk about comfort zone, we don't always mean that you're not really doing much, right? You're not really producing income, your business isn't growing. You can still be in the comfort zone at 2 million. At 5 million, that could still be a comfort zone. A lot of time people associate a comfort zone being with someone who's kind of broke, whose business is flat. It's not always the case. There could be a billionaire. Now you probably think, how can someone be a billionaire being uncomfortable? Listen, don't you think the person who's worth 1 billion wants to be worth 10 billion, right? It's at different levels. So it's our perception of how we see people. You got to get drawn up. You got to get heated up inside. You got to build that burning desire to want more. And you got to want. The other thing is why people can't do that, why people can't really have this burning desire, is because they don't really understand what they really want. 1 minute they want this, there's no definite purpose, there's no definite goal, there's no definite focus on what they really want. It may be written down, but not written down in a precise way where, you know what, I've written this down, but I really want this. But I'm not going to go after this because I don't believe I can have this. I believe I can possibly do this. Get yourself a pen and paper and say, look, if I had all of the resources, if I had everything that I could, if I could get a genie and rub it, what would I really want for myself? Where would I want my business? Then you got to start entertaining that goal. Seriously, you got to take it serious. I think I discovered that I want to be a business owner since I was about 8-9 years old. I was entrepreneurial. I always had this thing about being a millionaire. I don't know what it is about a million. It sounds like it's so fucking big, but it really isn't. Back when I was growing up, 90s, right? $1 million was considered a lot of money. You get yourself a nice house for 200 grand, 250, a nice house. And $1 million, when someone's a millionaire back then, it was way bigger than what it is now. That someone that's working in a high paid job, that could be a millionaire. You could buy a couple of properties, they go up in value. It's not hard. But going back, I don't think $1 million is nothing now. It really isn't. To someone that doesn't have $1 million, it seems like a dream. But look at old money versus new money. Look at people that made money who was a millionaire back in 1980. The million in 1980, I don't know what that would be worth in today's money, but it'd be worth a lot more. But now if you look at a millionaire today, it's not much. It's just not, it's a label like millionaire. Wow, it's conditioning, right? A millionaire, he's a millionaire, she's a millionaire. But $1 million isn't big. It really isn't. $1 million a month is right, but $1 million a year, that's not that big. Think of some of the people that are earning decent money. I know people made money in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And back then, I used to consider them really wealthy. Someone's making 25 grand a month. That's a hell of a lot of money. That was old methods. They used old methods to earn that money. But now there's new ways. There's new levels of awareness that we've got to tap into to earn more money. I've done this. I've gone to see people that are earning 25,000 a month. Back when I'm not earning 25,000 a month, I'm thinking that level was ridiculous, right? You kind of worship these people, not in a religious way, but you kind of worship the ground these people work on. You look at them differently. That's what I'm trying to say. You admire them. You think there's something special. But here's the thing. Now it's so much easier to earn money compared to what it was back then, because you can click a couple of buttons on the internet and you can make 100 grand. You can make 20 grand. It's so much easier. You got the internet, you got lots of different opportunities that open up. So many different ways of making money now. So many different ways. Now I look at people that are earning that money now. I'm looking at where they were and where I am now. And I'll compare what I'm earning now versus what they're earning now, and what the people I used to consider really successful and wealthy, their income's like that. Right? And mine's I'm not scared to talk about it. My income's like that. I remember going to a network marketing event. Guy was earning 25 grand a month. I'm thinking, 25. How does anybody earn 25 grand a month? And I was like so caught up with this because of my perception. I knew nothing different. Now I've done 25,000 in a day. I've done it in an hour. I've done it in half an hour, 25 grand. Now back then I wasn't aware as I am now. But here's the thing, how I'm earning money right now, how you're earning money right now. Think about it in 5 years time. There might be new opportunities that will dwarf what we're earning today. There might be something new that comes out that actually helps us to multiply our income even faster. I remember like consulting. It used to be kind of a one-to-one thing. People would coach somebody one-to-one. But now it's one-to-many. That model is great. This is which I do. You've got 1 hour, okay? You can have like 5 people coming in that 1 hour coaching session. You can have 50. You've got to have 60 people, 100 people, 250 in 1 hour. And you just keep on multiplying that. This is because someone come along and said, hey, listen, I want to earn this. Let's think of a faster way to earn this. All right, well, why not stop doing one-to-ones with people and start building a model where we can bring everybody in that 1 hour? Think about in your business right now. Are there other opportunities that you haven't explored? Perhaps there's some strategies, that's what I'm looking for, strategies that other businesses are using that maybe you can implement into your business. Because we all get an industry paradigm. We have an industry way of doing things. And when you do that, everybody else is doing that. So where you really make a difference is where you start thinking different. You start trying new things. So look at your dream. Go back to that big dream that you set. You've seen the type of actions that you're taking to get there. Now, see, what else can I do differently over here? Can I look at it from a different perception? Maybe start a new strategy. Maybe look at other businesses, how they're operating, and bring that into what we're doing. Jay Abraham talks about that a lot. He takes a strategy from this business, and I do this. I'll take a strategy from this business over here that this is working successfully, and I'll take that with another client that I've got over here in a total different industry. And then we'll say, right, why don't we try this and a bit of this and a bit of this into yours? And so we're taking like strategies out working with different people and implementing them with other clients. But you've got to be ready to do that. You've got to have the right mindset to do that. And the belief. It all comes down to the belief, right? Now, if you believe that you couldn't fail, would you still be acting like you are? Would you still be running your business the way you are? Think about it. You've got to have belief. The reason why most people don't really go after something big is because, well, it's the number one, belief. They look at, I don't have the resources. The time's not right. There's 101 reasons why they can't do it. But you only really need that one reason, all right? And you've got to be brought into that reason of why you can do it. And then you've got to back yourself up over and over again. I remember when I first got into my coaching, people were like prospecting, sending DMs and stuff to people. And I'm like, fucking, that's painful. I want to put on a seminar. I want to get people in the room. I want to create some excitement. So we started to do seminars. Swan Hotel in Bedford, we started to pack that out. Some of you maybe listened to my podcast and you attended one of them. Then we did London, Nottingham, Birmingham, some of the cities, right? But then I thought, you know what? I don't really like going out and setting up all these seminar halls and getting my team out there and putting all sorts of sound systems and lightings and cameras. There's so much to arrange. And I'm like, you know what? I want to transition. I want to do it the smart way. I don't even want to leave my house. Am I lazy? Maybe. But I was smart. I don't really want to leave my house. I want to build a business from home because I knew people that were successfully building 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses from home. And that's what I did. But I did that because I had that belief inside of me. I was working on my belief. Now, I knew the right steps to take in order for me to start changing my mindset, unconsciously programming myself for those big numbers. And then I started to do them. But guess what now? Now I'm thinking, you know what? I would like to do some like live events. I would love to go back and start doing seminars again. Now, I might be getting convinced. Dan, what do you reckon? Shall we do some seminars?
Oh,
100%. 100%. He says, so we might go do some seminars. So, right? So I'm doing this. The other thing is you don't want to just have one way of bringing in business to yourself, but that's a whole new podcast. We'll do that next time, right? But really think about your dreams. Go after them like you've never gone after them before. Even today, as soon as you hit end on this podcast, when we've closed this podcast off, ask yourself a question. Okay, what do I need to do today that's going to move me forward towards my big dreams that I haven't been doing? Write down something that you've not been doing that would possibly make a huge difference to your bottom line or your top line or your middle line, especially your bank account. So go take some big action today. Go identify an area where you think, you know what, this is where I'm really lacking. I'm holding back because of X, Y, and Z, but I don't care. I'm going to go all in. So like I always say to my clients, just before we wrap up a call, go all out or go back to bed. So I want you to go all out or go back to bed.